Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're digging into a pile of sources, articles, research notes, all that stuff. Our goal, to pull out the really key insights for you, kind of give you a shortcut to being up to speed. And our subject is, well, pretty huge. Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon. We're going to look at how he took this tiny online business, literally started in his garage, and turned it into, well, one of the biggest companies on the planet.
Exactly. And our mission here really is to trace that journey.
Yeah.
Understand the work, the thinking, the elements that fueled that incredible success. And everything we're discussing comes straight from the materials we've sifted through. You'll kind of see how it all unfolds from his early days right up to, well, now.
Okay, let's jump in right at the beginning. Bezos' early life. He was born back in 1964, Albuquerque, New Mexico. And what really jumps out from the sources is this intense curiosity he had even as a kid, a real love for science, for technology. And we're not just talking generally. There are specific examples, right?
Yeah.
Things he actually built at home, like an electric alarm, apparently, to keep his siblings out of his room.
Huh. Yeah. Practical.
Right. And even a robot that could, move around.
Yeah.
Then later, academically, he goes to Princeton, studies computer science, electrical engineering, pretty serious stuff.
And I think what's key there, connecting those dots, is seeing how that early tinkering, that fascination wasn't just a hobby. It really laid the groundwork, didn't it? That curiosity plus the technical skills from Princeton. You can see how that shaped what came later. It makes you think about how early passions can really steer your whole life.
Right. So he's got this technical background, this curiosity. But the next big step actually takes him, maybe surprisingly, to Wall Street for a while. Finance, big business. Until this kind of pivotal moment in 1994. He gets this really strong feeling, this conviction that the internet is about to explode, that it's going to be huge. So he walks away from his Wall Street job, a good job.
Yeah, a lucrative one.
To start selling books online.
Which sounds normal now, but back then.
Exactly. That's the thing.
Yeah.
And he starts it in his garage. The classic small space startup origin story.
That garage image is so powerful, isn't it? It's become almost mythical in the tech world. It just underlines the sheer ambition, starting so small but thinking so big.
Totally. And even the name Amazon. Our sources say it came from the Amazon River, biggest river in the world.
Because he wanted the biggest store in the world.
That was the vision right from the start. But like you said, at first, people were skeptical. Selling books online, it seemed weird. People probably thought, why would you do that?
Who's going to buy a book they can't flip through first?
Right. But the early numbers, they tell a different story. Within just 1 year, Amazon was shipping books to customers in all 50 U.S. states.
And over 45 countries.
Yeah, over 45 countries. Pretty incredible growth right out of the gate.
It really says something about entrepreneurship, doesn't it? It's not just about having an idea or taking a risk. It's about seeing something others don't. Spotting that massive shift, the internet wave, and having the guts to bet big on it, even when it means leaving a comfortable career behind. It's that foresight, that vision when everyone else just sees, well, strangeness.
And Amazon definitely didn't stay just a bookstore for long. The expansion was just relentless. They moved into music, movies, electronics, clothes.
Everything, basically.
Pretty much everything. And then crucially, cloud computing with Amazon Web Services, AWS. That was huge.
Yeah, AWS became a behemoth in its own right, a massive profit engine.
Although it wasn't all smooth sailing, was it? I mean, growing that fast.
No, definitely not. Our sources do mention the challenges, things like figuring out the logistics on such a massive scale, managing all that inventory, and just convincing Wall Street that this online retail model could actually be profitable long term. There was a lot of skepticism about the economics early on.
Right. Constant problem solving, it sounds like. And now, look at them. Amazon isn't just a store. They own Whole Foods, IMDb, the movie database, Ring, the doorbell company.
The list goes on.
Yeah, it solidified them as, one of the absolute tech giants. Bezos himself stepped down as CEO in 2021, but he's still obviously one of the wealthiest people alive.
Yeah.
And the company he built, it fundamentally changed how we all shop. Forever.
And if you look at that diversification, that expansion, strategically, it wasn't random. It was about taking what they were good at, logistics, handling data, that intense focus on the customer, and applying it to new areas. They built these layers, these new businesses that fed off each other, creating these massive advantages, these moats that made them so dominant. Continuous innovation was just baked in.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Beyond Amazon, beyond Earth even. Bezos didn't stop with e-commerce. He founded Blue Origin, his space company.
Right, another huge ambition.
And his vision there is pretty far-reaching. He genuinely believes humans should and will live and work in space someday. That's the long-term goal.
Pushing boundaries again.
Definitely. And he didn't just fund it, he went himself, right?
Yeah.
In 2021, he took a trip to space on a Blue Origin rocket.
Mm-hmm. A short trip, but symbolic.
Very symbolic.
Yeah.
Made news everywhere, showed he was serious about this space venture. And just briefly, on the personal side, the sources note he's married to Lauren Sanchez. They seem to enjoy traveling, being outdoors. Sort of the personal life behind the public figure.
And it's fascinating, isn't it? How that drive, that almost relentless curiosity we saw way back with the kid building gadgets, how that same impulse seems to fuel something as massive and, frankly, futuristic as Blue Origin. It really makes you think about how these deeply personal interests, when combined with vision and, let's be honest, immense resources, can actually drive these huge projects that could quite literally change humanity's future beyond Earth. It connects back to that core theme of just pushing what's possible.
So, wrapping this up, as you think back over everything we've touched on about Bezos' journey, what's the main thing that stands out for you? What should our listeners maybe chew on?
I think. For me, it really comes back to the power of unconventional thinking. How these truly transformative ideas, the ones that change everything, often start out seeming kind of weird or maybe niche, like selling books online. They often begin with just basic curiosity, like Bezos had as a kid, and then having the courage, the conviction to actually act on that belief, even when everyone else doubts it. It's proof, really, that world-changing revolutions don't always need a fancy boardroom or a detailed 10-year plan to start. Sometimes all it takes is a spark of an idea in a garage, or someone tinkering with an alarm clock. It's a reminder, I guess, that asking what if and then having the sheer nerve to chase the answer, well, that can lead to some pretty incredible places.